LinkedIn is pretty amazing at helping you grow your small business. We cannot stop your new clients from emailing you at 3 a.m. We can help you sell, market, and hire in one place. We cannot help you be in 3 places at once. And while we can't help you organize your calendar, LinkedIn can help you land more clients so you have a calendar to organize. Grow your small business on LinkedIn. Learn more at linkedin.com/smallbusiness.
By doing a moment of silence. It's been, if you guys have been listening and watching the news, watching social media even, then you know that the death rate has been spiking. And some of us is hitting close to home. Too close to home. And, you know, every month on the couch, every other month, we do Stop the Violence. Because it's very important that we still talk about it. We got to talk about it. We have to keep talking about it. Don't just wait till now when it's somebody that you know. We've been doing this. Don't stop. Even after a few months pass by. Keep doing it. Keep speaking it. Keep using your platform. I don't care how big or small your platform is. Utilize your platform to help spread the word. And a lot of people I've been seeing, because, you know, I do Stop the Violence every month on the couch. And I see sometimes down my feed, why would you guys talk about, you know, stopping the violence? And, you know, what is that going to do about it? What is it going to do about it by not speaking about it? That's the thing. Is what is it really doing by not speaking about it? Because it's not making sense. I feel like if we all speak about it, it could start making sense. So let's give this moment of silence to the ones who aren't here with us today. I know for sure it's maybe 5 or 6 people down my timeline that's related to the victims. Paycom, you know, they lost 2 people. It's just coming up on the couch this whole week is Prison Jail Felon Talk. If you would like to speak about your time, or even if you've never done any time but your family member has, you're more than welcome to come share your story. I urge you to. May 11th is going to be Sickle Cell Talk. May 12th is Autoimmune Disease Awareness. May 13th is Swept Under. May 18th is Mental Health Talk. May 21st is going to be Menopause Surgeries, Health, and More. We're going to have that with Tai Marie. May 28th is going to be Shroom Talk, and May 30th is going to be Fuck Fentanyl. And if you guys didn't know, this whole month of May is lupus awareness. So if you get a chance, wear some purple at least one time this month. At least one time this month, because purple actually represents lupus. I know it's Prison Jail Felon Talk, but y'all know how sometimes I like to even have a subject in that. Well, today's title of Prison Jail Felon Talk is From Behind These Walls. And, you know, I was speaking with my wife before the couch started. I was like, babe, you know, I like to talk about, you know, certain things, you know, in the prison. Sometimes I like to, you know, like kind of jog my memory. So we was discussing, like, do you know how many parents that are locked up that actually are still parents behind the walls, from behind them walls? And it reminded me of when I was behind them walls and I made the song. From behind them walls, we making music. From behind them walls, can you feel it? From behind these walls, we on some real shit. Behind these from behind these walls, we making moves like there's no gates and then we Take care of family, friends, and babies when there is no money. Nobody knows it, but we do the same things that we do. From behind these walls. Out of sight, out of mind, I don't have time. Y'all get the picture. So, it was a song that I wrote in the penitentiary, and we was all like, yo, every time people got a chance, they was like, yo, I need you to sing that song again. Because we was making moves like there's no gates. We was taking care of family, friends, and babies when there was no money. There wasn't money coming in for us to be able to take care of, and I say our, because I'm taking on the women that's still locked up that's doing it. I'm taking on the felons and the prisoners that's still locked up doing it. I'm not a parent, but I've watched. I have watched several parents. I've watched children receive gifts every birthday, holiday. Banners. Just like we was talking about the other day, you know, some of the things that I like on the yard. There's parents that made sure that, and if they were seamstress or if they were, you know, good with yarn, you know, they did, thank you so much for the gifts. They did everything that they could to make sure that their children got the same things they would have if they were there. Like if they seen that their friend was good at making, you know, baby outfits with the yarn or the blankets, they buying it from they people like, yo, or they bartering. Hey, next week I get 12 noodles. I got this shampoo from the lower security. Can I trade you out? You know, can I have you make this for my daughter or my son? You know, the men. There's a lot of people, men and women, that have so many talents. Some of them don't realize they have talent until they get in prison because they ain't got nothing but time, right? Okay, so they learning how to draw, or they didn't know that they knew how to draw, and then they start drawing, and they drawing their kids' portraits, and I'm talking about huge portraits that they can roll out and put up for a lifetime. You know, they making sure that and if they don't know how to draw, they getting somebody that do know how to draw. And those portraits aren't cheap. They're not just, some of them aren't just 12 noodles. Some people like, yo, I'm going to need you to hit my books for this. Oh, you want what? No, for real. Just because we locked up doesn't mean that our work isn't worth what we're asking for. See, the difference about being locked up and being out is your talent in prison, they not about to shortchange you for it. They not about to be like, yo, well, let me get. Now, if that's all they have, but they gonna be like, yo, but I'm gonna pay you. I'm gonna come back with the rest. Out here, they lowballing you regardless. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. Ain't no I'm coming back. Matter of fact, it's I'm coming back and they never come back. And then they talking about you like a dog on social media, like you owe them something. In prison, our respect is everything. Our word is everything. If we tell you that we coming back next week with 12 more noodles, we coming back. We're coming fucking back. We not playing no game. We ain't about to, you not about to. And sometimes some people would, hey, if you don't come back next week with my stuff, I want triple. I don't even want double no more. I want triple of what you owe me. And people don't think that if you owe somebody on the yard that you'll just get away with it for the rest of your incarceration. Because eventually it will come back to bite you in the ass. Whether it's getting your ass beat or it's you never get to do business on the yard again. You gonna feel it. So it's best to do business the right way. Out here, people don't give a fuck if if they can't do business with you or not, it's 1,000 more people they can get over on. They don't give a fuck about their word. They don't give a fuck about their image. No. It's so you see these parents, they making moves. They double or nothing. They getting paid what they work. They getting paid what they're asking. They're getting paid what they're asking. So if they say, hey, you want this portrait done, and if you need it at the last minute, okay, it's going to be $1,000. In the penitentiary, they're not even blinking an eye. Okay, I'm going to give you 5 this week, and I'm going to give you 5 next week. Because we can only draw down $250, or we can only draw down such and such, or I can only draw down, you know what I'm saying? Or you can use 2 different people to draw down through. But a portion is still going to be taken because you got to pay them to draw down through them. But there's parents that's literally making moves like there's no gas. Ray said, I wish I had that growing up. Actually, Ray, I wrote this down. I wrote something down because the episode with you was really eye-opening when it comes to parents being locked up, you know, but you said you didn't get that. There's some parents that literally, like I said, was doing I'm talking about as they grew, they was getting outfits made. Like, and some of these kids still got these outfits. Some of these kids still got these shoes. I don't know. Baby, you remember them shoes that they used to make with the yarn? All colors. All type of different slides. You see what I'm saying? Like, the kids, they had them in kid sizes. Like, little jackets, like, memorable stuff. Like, and they wasn't using no fugazi ass material. They was literally searching the heavens to get the best material for their children to send out to the world. So, and I commend those parents. I'm talking about men, women. Like, I've seen it. And some of these parents that did that, I've seen how when they got out, how tight they were and how tight they still are with their children. I see it. I think it's amazing. And I also think it's sad because that's not the same experience that all children have. But imagine how many children that are out here that actually don't have that same, like, support from their parents. And they're out near them in the world, close by. There's parents in the penitentiary that's doing more for their children from in the penitentiary, from behind them walls, more than these parents, more than some of these fathers, more than some of these mothers are right now. Some of these parents, they don't give their children half as much as attention as some of the parents that's in the penitentiary, and they're in the penitentiary. There's parents taking penitentiary chances to have an actual phone that you could FaceTime. Granted, you might have to stuff it in your asshole if it's a shakedown at the last minute. Granted. But that's a chance that you have to take. You said, I still got some of the booties and house shoes that were made. More talent in prison than out. Exactly, Regina. Exactly. I was just saying it. It's so much talent. And literally, there's no one going to blink an eye, you know. I mean, unless you got some trash-ass work. But if your work is flawless, come on. We know that there are some fantastic artists locked up. We're not going to question the price that you've given us at all locked up. That's why I'm like, you know, we not used to being like downplayed or lowballed for our work, especially after doing so much time hustling in prison, because there's always a hustle in prison. I don't care what you got going on. There's no possible way that you can be broke in prison unless they have you so high on drugs that you don't even know how to function your own mind. That's the only way. Because there's always a hustle in prison. I'm talking about from washing people's laundry to going to the kitchen and getting your tray just to give to somebody. I'm talking about, like, there's literally so many things that you can do to make your own individual money. I'm talking about extra ones while you're in prison. I remember one time I was in school, and in school, it's a little different when you're in prison and you go into the education building. Now, yes, it is on the same facility. It's just on the other side of the yard. But sometimes in the building, they got different stuff like Febreze. You know what you could do with some Febreze? Like, what? I used to make 20, and this isn't even like a big bottle of Febreze, because when you spraying it into another bottle to try to get it out, it don't look like the big old Febreze bottle. You probably gonna get about this much, and about this much you could sell for $50, $30. Me, I would just flip it for 2 bottles of hooch, because it would keep the smell of the hooch out the hooch maker's room. So it's always a hustle. So boom, I see that Febreze. That's maybe $100 or more if I can get the whole thing squirted in time. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to be a mastermind. You actually, and then there's other people that's going to try to take your hustle. So if somebody would have caught on to the Febreze and before me or during the time that I did, they probably would have tried to get it like, hold on, let me get some of that. But I tell. And there's some people that would tell. They would tell if you don't cut them in on the hustle that you came up on. So you got to be careful about coming up on a hustle in the penitentiary. Yeah, you got to be a little secretive. You know what I'm saying? You got to gatekeep a little bit because, especially if you're the first person to come up on this little hustle. That's all I'm saying. I know it gets crazy, but as a parent, I'm not a parent. And I know I used to hustle like crazy, but when I used to see the parents, it was a different type of hustle for them. Like, they wasn't hustling like, yeah, I got to go get this for me. And it was a different type of a grit on their face. Like they was really like, this was for their children. Like, their children are dependent on them. And then some of the grandparents lied to the children and told the children that the parents is in the military or, you know what I'm saying, or vacation. So you got to keep up that act. And you got to be able to send gifts like, oh, yeah, this is from the vacation. This is from the whatever you telling your children. If you deciding on lying and that's what you're doing, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Keep that front up. But there's a lot of parents that's literally keeping they front up. And not even they front up. They literally keeping their end of the bargain. They helping their parents out. Some of the parents is like, damn, I don't know how this is happening, but I'm thankful. And then whenever they get caught up, they mad. Like, how could you take the money too? You know, the fuck? I didn't have no real ass 9 to 5 in this motherfucker. You know I was doing a little something. Yeah, I'm gonna get in trouble maybe. Is you gonna ride or not? So shout out to the parents that's in there that's doing a big one. Because like I said, there's a lot of parents that's out here that's not doing anything for their children. And then there's also those parents that's in there that, okay, so when you don't have, okay, yeah, DM me. understand me. I'll put you on the show. When you don't have like kids like me, it was easy for me to kind of shut down or shut off what's happening in the world. And it was easy for me to kind of dissociate. But when you have kids and you choose to dissociate on what's happening in the world because you can't control it, because that's what I did. That's what I dissociated because it's stuff that I couldn't control. So if you are one of those parents that have children and you choose to dissociate yourself because you don't want to deal with the problems of the world, including your kids, and having to make sure that they taken care of, but you in there taking care of a woman or getting some pussy or whatever you paying for in the penitentiary, but you not making sure that your kids is taken care of, shame on fucking you. Shame on you. Thank you for the gifts. Because like I said, it's always a hustle in the penitentiary. And if you mean to tell me you can't at least send your kid $50 to $100 a month from the penitentiary, if you can't make that happen, and that's not even a lot. That's literally chump change. Because I done seen parents rack up thousands. You said, I want to speak on that parenthood. Bet. That's fine. There's parents pulling in thousands for just some random shit. So how you can't send your child at least 100, or to your mama, towards, or to your daddy, or whoever got your kids? Now I can understand if you have no choice because they in DHS custody, and in DHS custody, it's the system. They the ones that keep you know, unless they allow the children to come visit the parents, you know, they are the ones that actually keep you from seeing your children, from being able to, until you get out and you're able to handle business and do classes. And I mean, unless it's a caseworker that's going to work with you and come up to the penitentiary. But a lot of times they not. They're going to wait until you get out. So now I could understand that if it's a dissociation like that, because you don't want to put on that sad face. You don't want to be, you know how I always say that you have to put on a mask to be in a penitentiary, because you can't be just crying. You can't just be showing emotion. So if your kids are in DHS custody, or you have no way of getting a hold of them, then I could understand why you would dissociate from the world, because that's very hurtful to think about. And when you think about it, it will leave you vulnerable to the people that are in the penitentiary watching and waiting on you to crack. So I get that. Ray said, it hurts me. I mean, it hurts me bad as a child growing up, feeling unloved, unwanted, and just tolerated was something in itself. I try my best every day for my kids to see you and feel and know that I love them and cherish them more than anything. Exactly. And if you guys haven't seen the episode with Ray Stewart, she actually was on the couch, and her father was in the penitentiary most of her life. So I think you guys should go back and watch that episode. It's an amazing episode, which brings me to when Ray was on the couch, Ray Stewart, she was speaking about how she didn't really feel that connection with her father. And her father would use different women to come up there and to come to her and just like, or come get her and bring her up there. Now, in the penitentiary, the reason why I brought this up is because of the fact that I was saying how parents take care of, you know, their children. You know, it was bad on her end, but there are some, you know, parents that all they have is to use a pen pal. You know, some of them that don't have family, all they have is to use a celly or or somebody across the yard that they met, their parents or somebody in their family, they hooked them up with somebody. It will happen so often that it seems normal. And it's also a flex. It's a flex in the penitentiary to say, I have all these men going to pick up my daughter or going to pick up my kids to bring them up here to visit me. Or I have all these women go get my daughter or my son or my kids to bring them up here to see me. It's a flex because somebody might have owed you, and what you might have wanted was for your kids to be brought up here. You never know, or the whole family. But from the kids' perspective, like from Ray's perspective, it wasn't a good feeling to have all these women that she don't even know bringing her up there to see her father, and he's not even paying attention to her, but only paying attention to the woman. You said both of my brothers are locked up, and they both signed for time last year. I miss them. I'm so sorry. Sending so much love. I do this every month because there is so many things that even if I never been to the penitentiary and I just knew somebody that been there, it does something to your mental knowing that your friends and family are behind them walls. And there's nothing you can do about it except for do everything that you can to make their time a little bit better. Whether that's sending them mail, sending them care packages. It's fucked up. It hurts. It's something that, just like losing somebody, it's just like losing them. You losing them in the flesh. And then whenever you get them back, they're not even the same. You not even the same. And then you didn't get to grow together. You don't have them stories together. And then for the next 5 or 6 years after they get out, all you get to hear is stories about them in the penitentiary, and you might not ever hear it stop. It might always, forever, go on and on and on. You'll always hear about such and such in pod 3. You'll always hear about such and such in the wheelchair and pill line. You will. Every time you're going to have to get to know these people, and you might even come across them. You might even get introduced to them someday. But you never come back the same. And you never get your people back the same. That was locked up. So you don't just cry because they're not there in the flesh. You cry because you mourn the friendship, the relationship that could have grown even more with them being out, because it can grow while they're locked up, but it's not a genuine grow because you don't get to know who they genuinely are, because they can't show or tell who they are while they're locked up in front of other people that's watching them. It's not possible. Sorry. It's just not. From behind them walls, we do so much to make sure that mentally, physically, and emotionally we good. Even if we can't show anybody what's going on with us mentally. Sometimes we'll write it out to our kids. I know people that tell me about how they got emotional letters from their parents and they didn't understand it until they got older and they went back and reread it. I commend those parents that's sending those letters so when their kids get older, they can understand the emotional turmoil that they actually went through while they were locked up. Shout out to everybody that's behind them walls that's doing a damn thing. You don't always have to hustle illegally in the penitentiary to make some money. You could literally, like I said, wash people's clothes, clean their shoes, draw banners, knit, arts and craft of any kind. I'm just saying. From behind them walls, man. Yeah. If you're just now tuning in, it's the Couch Chronicles, where it ain't no fucking limits. I do this every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday from 8 Central Time, and every Wednesday and Friday from 9:30 a.m. Central Time. I will be on live tomorrow a little bit early, around maybe 5:30. So if you guys get a chance, come tune in tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. And I will see you guys on the couch. We're going to be live early. Listen, I'm saying it again. So if you tuned in right now, share the live, tell somebody, and I will remind y'all again tomorrow. But we're going to be live again tomorrow at 5:30 or 6 p.m. Central Time. Turn on your post notifications so you never miss a couch. Just saying. It's the Couch Chronicles, where it ain't no fucking limits. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the morrow.